here again.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ooredoo really came into this series with some really nice understanding of draft-wise. They're banning out a lot of these kind of hybrid offlaners that they can put into a core-esque position, with Amar specifically. So, yeah, I think Ooredoo's prep coming in. I did obviously say 2-0, but I think realistically it will be a 2-1 series. I don't think... I'd be really surprised if either team was able to just clean sweep. Because I think both of these teams have a lot of grit to be able to, at least claw out a game, especially at this kind of level of the European tour.
Right, and I think that if you're coming in favoring Ooredoo Thunder, obviously there's going to be some matches here. You can take a look at the esportsbet.io. Slight favorites right now for them by a little bit of a margin there. But you have a couple of different heroes, I think, from both teams and players specifically that can just take over a game and win you a match. Like, you can do the more sort of team-oriented thing, but you think about TA2000, what this guy's been able to do. And then on the other side, Sumail and Amar, I think both of them are very capable of taking over a game. But this one feels like it's much more going to be about Sumail playing on the Morph. And I feel like we haven't seen that much Amar Pango almost at all.
No, I think he's got like one career game competitively.
Okay.
It was against Liquid at TI when he was on OG, and they lost. So he's got one L to his name on the hero. But yeah, I think realistically, at least in recent time, he started to play Broodmother when under Nigma. He's now playing some Pangolier. Like, he is, broadening his hero pool a little bit.
Ooh. GH takes that glimpse, tries to run down Kaori here. Will have another couple hits onto him, but Undying very difficult to kill off at these early goings. But yeah, this is going to be the lane. Fear was talking about it. Sheep's talked about it a lot in the past too, just how strong this, Drow Undying can be.
And we speak about the fact that Amar hasn't really played a lot of Pangolier. The best way to cushion a person on a new hero is to throw it into the mid lane. Okay. You don't have to, fully understand the laning mechanics of it, because the kind of creeps and farm come to you. So yeah, I kind of like the fact that they have allowed Amar a little bit of a kind of a cushioned entry to this game, at least.
Yeah.
Then again, of course, Sumail isn't playing mid once more.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's something to consider. And I mean, we had that interview with GH when they won the series the other day, and he was saying that, we don't even know where the hell these players are going to be going. We just random in our drafts and try and figure out what's going to happen. I think he's being a little tongue-in-cheek there.
A little bit, yeah.
But it is sort of speaking to the fact that this is a team that's been trying to find its identity, and it's looked its best when Amar has been able to play mid, and then Sumail can play more of that like late game, carry style that we've been seeing from him. But in the meantime, down bottom, the combination of IO Witch Doctor. I think most people have seen it at this point, but do you want to tell us, just sort of brace us for what else we can kind of be looking for from this?
It's pretty much just an infinite amount of sustain. You have this IO Witch Doctor. The IO tethers the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor then, of course, levels Voodoo Restoration. And then in tandem, you are pretty much able to A-click throughout the map. There's a lot of kill threat, of course, with the your Death Ward. And it's a lane that it's just hard to get rid of. And the other thing as well, because it's double range, you always just like clicking the enemy carry, you either double denying together. So it's a very potent lane that can just exist and dominate, but it's very much one that needs to kind of push themselves into the game. And it's why you see Ooredoo cover it with like Io, Storm, Undying, Drow. Like, these are heroes that if the game is going their way, they will happily just run forwards in the game together. So look for a very aggressive 15 minutes from this team.
The death ball strat, as we could say, although it is a cube and not a ball this time with the IO. It's perfectly fine now. I was hoping to see the new set. I like that one a lot. It looks really cool.
It's a banger, but unfortunately you do need to get we have to sell your tier 2s to get a tier 3. And
wait, what? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a convoluted process of, getting some treasures, then buying some keys with your shards, and then you get some tier 1s, you upgrade it for a tier 2, then you do some shenanigans. And
if anybody would like to gift it to me, feel free. Very happy to accept that.
There we go.
As we get into this game now.
Have you ever done that before in a cast? No, wow. Christ.
But you can see right now 10-2 on that Storm Spirit mid, and only 3 last hits so far for Amar. He is starting to get the treatment a little bit in the mid lane from Noob.
Yep, this will be the issue when you put in your offlaner / carry into the mid lane. He isn't going to be well versed in just the smaller mechanics. He's not religiously playing mid every single day, right? So that's where, we saw in the previous series with Nisha and the Noob here, it's going to be a little bit difficult to at least muscle up against some of these laners.
Well, we've been taking a look here at this top lane. Kaori being a good bulwark in front of TA2000 to keep him survivable. But all 3 of the lanes right now for Ooredoo Thunder seeming to go quite well. But the big disparity is, of course, just going to continue to be that Storm versus the Pango in the mid lane, who just has not been able to get that much from R. And like you said, mechanics, everything else comboed together, and if he's not careful, he could even be brought down low here.
Yeah, I can already feel the discomfort from Nigma's lineup right now, because Ooredoo have really strong side lanes, which then means they're not going to be able to help rotate to mid lane without also further losing the side lanes. So now Noob crushing this mid lane, this 6-minute rune is going to be super vital, where I feel like I would be surprised if Ooredoo wasn't able to take it based on the trajectory so far of the lanes.
Well, that is certainly a concern. Amar walking on up, he's going to get one of those water runes, it looks like, and they'll trade him out. So at least gets the bottle refill, and even doing a good job there of glyphing the wave to make sure that he doesn't miss out on too many creeps. But yeah, the snowball that could come out from a Storm Spirit being uncontested is really dangerous, particularly if he's given access to those kill runes.
Yep, and you already see from his quick buy, he's going for the Falcon Blade. You get some mixture of that mana regen, bit tankier. Going to treads and just look for the fight. It'll be interesting to see what option of Storm he wants to go. This is the type of game that I think an early BKB probably would be great, of course, against Silencer. If you zip in global, there's a lot of counterplay to make there, so yeah, I'd like to see him go quite defensive on his Storm, even if he's having a great time in lane, just to make sure he can continue, forcing the game with his playstyle.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you, if I start thinking about a Storm Spirit with a Falcon Blade and them trying to group up around this timing of like mech or what have you on the Witch Doctor, that sounds scary as hell, because he's already got these like little items that are sort of setting up for a big explosion of damage. But yeah, across the other lanes too, Drow starting to sort of be hampered a little bit as in towards mid. Amar might be in a little bit more trouble there. Gets brought very low by Noob, but does manage to clear out after. And now is going to have to head over and pick up another one of those water runes. Try and reset this.
Yeah, and in bot lane as well, it's like you see Sumo and Kuroki, they're kind of throwing some spells out on this Eye Witch Doctor, and it's like, okay, they're full HP. Like, any spells they do, it's like, this is why this combination is so potent, because it survives the entire time, especially if Woods is able to keep up his mana at least, but that should be coming out on his career as well. It'd be interesting actually if they change up the build, because again, there's like Holy Lockets, Mana Boots, and just basically auras, but yeah, maybe they have a different read on the combo, but Gaimin Gladiators, they've kind of already showcased its ultimate strength so far.
God, and I'm just looking at this, thinking about that level 6 coming up. I mean, it's a very chill game right now, but you can see that this like slight lead that's being built up for Noob, it could compound on itself and turn into a kill very quickly if they're not careful. But, Noob also getting brought a little bit low by those couple of swashes.
And, coming up to that 6-minute mark, no one's really breaking from lane yet. So potentially it could just be that good old 50-50 between Amar and Noob. Whoever gets the rune, and that could be kind of Amar's savior in this lane, especially if he gets the right rune. And actually, a nice rotation from Kuroki.
Oh my god! Noob getting caught out right there and not respecting the rotation coming from Kuro. Kuro, what a solid move.
That was a bang. I mean, the fact that he threw some spells bottom, realized, wait a second, I can't do anything here.
Yeah.
And I expected there to be a little bit more annoyance from the Eye Witch Doctor, but no, in reality, there wasn't there. So it frees up Kuroki to make that play, and Storm just hit 6 as he died. So
right,
a like 1 minuscule moment to actually find that kill, and he finds it. And yeah, because of that, now Mar gets the DD.
Yeah, this is big.
That's a massive recovery from what was a very one-sided mid lane.
Does get pulled back in, tries to go for the swash. Noob a little bit pissed off about what happened and threatening to go all in on him there.
Imagine if Kuroki was there still.
I know, right?
And then he was like, what are you doing, my millet? And then bam, and second death. But luckily for Noob, Kuroki wasn't there and wasn't punished from his little bit of aggression there.
I mean, it's interesting because you think about the way that could have gone, and I think good recognition from Nigma as a whole, just to say, hey, there's going to be a moment here where they're going to try and go for the all-in play, and they bring somebody mid to help them out right when they need to.
I just love the care package as well. Like, you think about the lane, just mid lane, you got the top river ward, the bottom river ward. Like, Amara's getting the, all right, buddy, it's been difficult. It's been hard. But here we go. You got all your vision now. You got your DD. You got your quick kill with Kuroki. You're back in the game, boss.
See if he can continue to make use of that, as there's still not been that many movements at all. 7 minutes in, 1 kill. I mean, I feel like the damage done between the two teams too is just like nothing. They're just sort of all hitting creeps. Nobody wants to sort of take a big step forward with this one.
Yeah, I think both teams just respect the fact that they're going to be able to break away from lanes at some point and make moves. On one side, you've got Pangolier, you've got Mono Kisses, the constant threat of Disruptor, and on the other side you have that group up potential around the Undying and Tombstone, Witch Doctor that we mentioned. So I think both teams, like if they give away some cheap kills, it's just going to compound like the next move the team wants to make after, right? So it's a slow and steady, and then as soon as we get the kills, it's just going to be flowing the entire time.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to consider as well, is particularly with OT's lineup, there is so much snowball potential, and well, they're going to start it off right here, trying to kill off MC, and looks like they are going to get him. As GH runs away from the zombies, they glimpse Storm back towards mid, which I think he's pretty happy about, to be honest. Almost was able to get access there to that 8-minute rune, but it was Omar that had to come on in and take that one away instead. Wooder thought about the stun, but didn't connect.
That's so annoying, actually. Like, Noob, he gets glimpsed to mid, doesn't get the rune, but Io has Soul Ring, so all he has to do is tether the Storm, boom. That's why you're full mana, and it's why we see Io's Storm being such a potent combo. I think we've seen it played like 6 times across all regions now. It's got like a 66% win rate. Like, it's in a very healthy position in the in meta right now, and
yeah,
I feel like teams will probably be picking this up a lot more down the line, especially when you see how simple it is to keep Storm happy in the game with the IO.
Totally, and you've always got the worry of the Witch Doctor that you can come out with the last pick, because why not? I mean, it's going to be all over the place.
It should be, to some degree.
I feel like any of these heroes that just build like Guardian Greaves Pipe are still always going to be so valuable in these games. As, again, Amar trying to finish off his Diffusal Blade is getting a little bit closer to it, and that feels like it could be a pretty good moment when they can make some moves together. Obviously, of course, the 10-minute mark coming up, and GH might be thinking about taking away that tome there too. Sumail, Kuro going together on Omar, trying to take him down, hiding away Silence. Sumail's still on him, but Waiter, look at the damage out on him. It's just there with the Voodoo Restoration and slowly whittling down the Morph and everybody else around him.
And surprisingly enough, I mean, I say surprising, it's not as if this was like the most potent combos, but Witchshot did get a very small buff in the previous patch, right? Like, it's an extra 6 damage at max level on his heal now, so I don't know if it's going to mean too much, but, the fact that, Ice Frog was watching, they saw Gladiators dominate with us, you know what, we respect it, we want to see it more, take 6 more HP damage. Yeah. Not enough to really get it in, but, it's the small things that matter. And
True enough.
But no, for Wooder at least, yeah, he's got the 3 points into Voodoo, he's going for the Greaves, and, yeah, just wants to keep chilling, keep farming, and that'll be the downside of having the Witch Doctor. It's not like he can quickly sweep across the map and counterplay on rotations.
Nice play there. Picks up the Haster, and Noob gonna have to go for a little zip out, but Omar, he might be in trouble as the Pango rolls back and forth, catches him there, pushes high ground, but that does reveal the ward. Mar now gets up to the high ground, trying to get away from Noob, pops the haste, but the pullback is still going to be there, keeping more damage onto him, and Sumail waveforms through, and they're going to be fine. And by the way, this is an enormous stack built up here, as they'll drop down the Tombstone, it looks like, and try and just steal this one away.
Sumail, he's posturing, isn't he? Okay, he's not. I was going to say, it's like, that'd be quite a greedy play just to waveform in and yoink a couple of the big creeps. Nice disengage there from Nigma, and that's kind of what they want to keep doing, is that constant poke. I respect the fact that Sumail, he is, even though he's top net worth, he's still breaking away from his farm pattern to help kind of put a little bit of pressure on Ooredoo. Like, you really don't want them to just be sitting in lanes farming this entire time, because when you have 2 lineups, one that is death balling, if you have a death ball that AFK farms to 15, that death ball is going to feel so hard. So Nigma, they are trying to break the game a little bit, but they aren't really succeeding, especially when you see Storm and Drow just happily farming up.
Yeah, if they're sort of free to get to this timing and thinking about BKBs and what else is that's going to mean, it's going to be tough. As up top, MC just gets brought down. TA2000 able to run him there.
It's the classic noob play, right? It's you go from mid, you quickly find an opportunity to gank and goes top, right? He's been top twice now. Both times he's gone there. He's got a kill on MC, and he's just helping TA2000 into the game.
Well, there's a smoke up now. And Sumail's going to TP to try and join the rest of the team who are looking for a bit of a go onto TA2000. Kaori not in position to break this smoke, so this should be a freebie if they can get there in time. This is with Diffusal Blade done. They're going to go for the Glimpse play. A really good gust, though. Keeps TA2000 alive, and now with the relocate in, they're going to drop the kisses. But Disruptor ulti hits onto all of them. Oh, a great timing there for GH.
Oh my god.
And they blow them all up. What a call. And yo, sometimes it's best not to relocate.
That was just filth. I mean, everyone watching, Christ. That doesn't happen often in Dota. The beautiful 4-man Static Storm into Monaspa Kiss is absolutely everything.
And Noob,
and then Noob as well.
Top it too, and they find him. gonna be there with the swashbuckle. All 5 go down. We talked about the death ball from Ooredoo, but they just broke it in half.
The damage, you have to respect it, right? Like, I feel like for Ooredoo, they should be fine if they're, one hero tanks the Static Storm, one hero takes the Monaspa Kisses, but you already see it. The Gus starts up tier 2000, he's like, boys, I'm kind of surviving. And yeah, as soon as he turns that corner, they see the vision there. It's like, you just TP'd and relocated into a really poor position. A little bit of miscommunication there from Ooredoo, because it's, against these heroes, you've got to respect the AoEs, and I feel like, yeah, a little bit of a misplay there from Ooredoo.
I mean, I will say that if I'm looking at this Ooredoo Thunder draft, if they had like Greaves at that point, or for instance a Pipe or something like that, I think that play turns around and looks amazing for them, but they just didn't get that gold yet. They haven't gotten those big team fight items yet, and of course they all got silenced and blown up.
Yeah, they got absolutely slapped, yeah.
But I can see a way that if they can sort of survive this window when they don't have those big items yet, maybe they can make it work. I'm just concerned now after losing 2 towers if Nigma can just run away with this.
I mean, yeah, for Ooredoo, what you're leaning on is exactly what they're talking about now. It's, guys, if we can just survive the Static Storm or the Monaspa Kisses, these heroes will fall off. And then they just got to 5v1 this Morphling. So if anything, it's Ooredoo's positioning should improve now in the upcoming engagements. But yeah, for sure, Nigma, the fact that Sumo has sat at top net worth this entire time, whenever you pick Morphling in these types of lineups, it's always, how quickly can I get to like Dragon Lance Manta plus whatever active item he wants, right? And you already see from Amar, he's the one that actually got Scardy in his quick buy, so potentially this Morphling might pivot to just like an Axe build instead, giving away the Scardy to the Pangolier, so kind of distributing the big game-winning items to make sure they happen a little bit quicker. But yeah.
And I mean, if TA2000 gets shifted into with Ag's form Morphling, that is just crippling her damage output. You're having to rely so much on Storm at that point. And you take a look up top, and while TA2000's farming out these stacks, it's Sumail that's already bringing down this tier 2 tower to half HP or so. They are really accelerating the game in some capacity there. But Ooredoo Thunders, I mean, it still feels like they kind of need to deathball if they want to make a good fight happen, but it kind of feels weird now after losing that fight like that.
Yeah, we haven't really seen the effect of this Witch Doctor, right? He's sitting at 0-1-0, sorry. He hasn't really kind of entered the game and gone, hey, look at me, try and kill me off, because he understands that, sure, he has some heal, but no way does he survive through a Rolling Thunder plus the Static Storm. So he can't be as confident as the previous Witch Doctor strats that we've seen, where their supports maybe don't provide any damage. So this is like an offlane combo now that is like, because of that top event, because of the fact that they can't comfortably look towards this mid tower, because of the threat of Pangolier, it has become quite a disjointed situation for Ooredoo, and they are going to be waiting for Drow or Storm to say, hey guys, I'm strong enough, enable me to get the damage out now.
Well, we'll see if it ends up happening now. Kaori is down on the low ground. They're all underneath vision, and GH is going to pull him on back in just a moment here. Waiting for his timing. There's the glimpse, and Amar ready to chase, ready to kill. They've got everything and more than enough to bring down that Undying. I just want to go back to something that you said earlier. You said not 1-0.
Yeah, I just kind of
the Witch Doctor. Is that?
Yeah,
is that a thing?
After I said it, I was like, damn, son, I really just went down the whole kind of roller coaster
Every
of
type
numbers
of
there.
Zero.
I mean, not 1 and 0. Yeah, actually, you know what? I actually do say that. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Not 1 and 0.
Not 1-0.
Does anyone else? No one else says that. Am I by my... Oh, God. I just said it in front of like 30,000 people. Well. Any 0-1-0 fans in chat? Can I get an amen? There we go.
There's not 1-0 of them. All right, Sumail
Chat's going to be swimming right now.
It's good. Ready to take on down this tier 2 tower up top. Undying, he's back. Might get glimpsed again if he's not careful.
Man. Honestly, I think Amar's itemization could be real key in this game. Like, he's already got the Scardy, so identified that kind of healing. If he goes Shivas as well...
He doesn't have the Scardy. He's queued it up, right?
I understand it's Amar, and he's the type of guy that will change it, right? But imagine the timeline where it's a BKB Diffusal Pangolier with, let's say, like, Scardy Shivas, right? You've now removed all the healing aspects with these 2 items, enabled Sumo to go into this like hyper right-click damage. I could see it working out, especially with how they're playing the map right now.
Oh, totally. And you look at Noob, he's trying to get into this BKB as quick as possible. It feels like for Ooredoo, they're trying to sort of hit a window before all that stuff comes online. The problem is that Nigma are just coming online quicker. They've taken that tower, they've taken the outpost. If they want to, they could start thinking about Roche. It's spooky.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare the offlane as well, it's like Witch Doctor versus Snapfire. It's the race to the auras. Mind Control's already got the Grief, so he's happily playing with his team.
This was underneath a ward, this smoke that was moving out across, and with Witch Doctor Greaves done, they could take this fight if they want to, but TA2000, they get vision, the glimpse is going to be there. Does get away for a moment. Can they turn this fight around now? Control onto her, Global is out. They need to get the Greaves in there in time, but the TPs, they're taking so long. TA2000 starting to die, but there is the TP in, and they're able to survive the first salvo. MC will manage to get out of there. But a very close call, and they weren't able to get the drought.
Seeing elements of that sustain from Ooredoo, right? It's the GH has played a really strong game so far, always getting these glimpses onto the drought, always, you know, pressuring her when she comes to the lane. But that one time it was a little bit disjointed, and you get Soul Rip, there's an IO, there's a Witch Doctor. If you don't kill them in that moment, they're probably going to be able to survive to some degree, and that will get harder with time, especially when Drow picks up the BKB, but yeah.
Right. Well, and maybe a little bit of a misplay there too. We saw GH, you know, have to drop down the kinetic field to get the vision for
yeah,
Drow.
Exactly.
And if he had that kinetic field, obviously Drow was not going to be able to force staff away. You've got all that burst damage. She would end up dying. But right now, they do have a DD on Storm, ready to jump in the mid lane if people step up here. But I'm not sure if they want to stick around and take the full fight. Doesn't look like it.
We got the vision out. They're probably going to retreat.
Burrow could drop a vision or a ward down here. There's one off to the side, but no.
Again, Ooredoo, they're like one key item away on all cores before they want to just break the map and make these plays, right? On Storm Spirits, the BKB that we're mentioning, same thing for Drow. Witch Doctor, he's like hurrying his way to get at least a hood. Yeah. Because again, Greaves, it's great, but like you need to get through this magic damage. If that top scenario happens again, if you have that hood or pipe that you mentioned, you're going to be able to completely turn that fight around. And I feel like for Ooredoo, they're just like, okay, concede the map. Wait, it doesn't matter if Nigma get to do whatever they want for 20 minutes in this game, 25 minutes. Because of that one awkward situation, we are going to be able to recover down the line. And it's one of those make or break moments where if you concede the map, wait for an item, and then take the fight and lose, it can be rough. And Priori, it can always be rough playing support. When you poke your head up into the enemy jungle, trying to go for a little D-ward, you're probably going to get killed off at some point.
But that is the type of play that I think they're pretty comfortable making. Now, this one up top would be far worse as they're trying to set up Warder and Omar. Able to find him with the scatter blast there. Stun is out, but Omar already making the move. Omar, does he have any way to break this one and get back in there for the save? It does not look like it as they try and bring down this Witch Doctor. Very tanky, but eventually he dies. Omar TP's out. Can they bring him down in time? Not quite. So the kill on the Witch Doctor, much needed, and that was right before he did get that full hood completed. He's still going to be able to finish it off.
I mean, it also took nearly 4 heroes to kill him off, so we're really like, guys, it's happening. We're getting closer. We're coming online, kinda.
I mean, it is still 10-3. It's like 1,000 gold lead, but you can see that there's a way that it could happen.
I mean, this game's like amazing. Like, just the net worth is so even. Like, no team is like insanely in the lead. I feel like Ooredoo at any minute could just break this game by running across the map. The flip side, they could run into their absolute death, get slaughtered by a global and a rolling thunder, and the game's just over. Like, we're just building up to this one big point in the game.
Right. Well, and underneath vision here, Mar's going to back out. It feels like Roche is going to be that thing that can sort of separate stuff around, and obviously, you know, Storm Spirit, Aegis, huge. More likely than not, it's going to be Sumail, though, that picks it up if the sort of trend continues in the way that we've been seeing it. But they're confident, just holding on to the map right now, and not wanting to give up too much of it.
Yeah, my most enjoyable thing to do in a cast is to analyze a Mars quick buy. So he's from the 3 items that he had in his quick buy, he's now went for the halberd. So option number 4.
Right.
Let's try and explain that one. So of course, when you roll around on Pangolier, you often die just to right click. So it helps with the evasion aspect during your ultimate. And on top of that, if you get on top of the drow, finish your ultimate, quickly throw the disarm, it can work out pretty well. But I'm honestly, I kind of convinced myself through his quick buy that BKB Skadi, you know, these items down the line could be really cool, but
I think
maybe that's like a 60-minute game, yeah.
Somebody else on Nigma convinced him to do something else, maybe. Who knows?
That's true. There has been a lot of downtime in this game to try and reason with Omar, so that's a good point.
Well, 21, 22 minutes in, and still, the thing that's interesting about this is that Nigma's sort of controlling the areas of the map that Ooredoo can farm in a way, but Ooredoo is still keeping up and farm pretty well too. And now, as they are going to try and make a more concerted effort on Nigma to go on in and take down Roche, this feels like it's going to be that moment where Ooredoo need to kind of deal with the big pressure that's going to be coming their direction.
Yeah, you talking about where Nigma's playing, because they're playing this top side of the map, they naturally will have Roshan ownership, and we talk about the fact that Ooredoo are kind of chasing that one item timing that was talking about, and they're not there yet. So yeah, Nigma, they sense the state of the game. You know what? Take it away. Get that first Aegis.
It is going to be into double BKBs and soon to be pipe for Witch Doctor. I don't know if he's going to get that one completed by the time the big push finally comes in, but maybe Nigma ain't even trying to make that move, because they're kind of all staying down bottom, and instead it could be OT that take the fight to them instead.
I mean, Nigma, they have to be careful. Like, even though they have this lead in regards to Aegis, their lineup is all about, do they have Global? Do they have Static Storm? Do they have Mortimer Kisses? Like, if these spells are down, Ooredoo, they don't care. They don't have any cooldowns to do. So this next fight, it's all about how does Ooredoo poke that first engagement.
And they're moving into the same area right now. This could be very deadly. Who they find at the start is going to be clutch and key. And where do they walk right into him? Going to be able to find MC there. Sumail thinking about going on to one, but already the tombstone is down. Amar gets the stun now onto the Storm. The Witch Doctor going to get healed back up to full. Sumail runs in, tries to take down Amar, but TA2000 has got him. The Gust is there, Manta to back away. Noob tries to find him. They get the global out. Nobody dying. Nobody's dead. They might finally take one. Nope, nobody's dying. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to get the kill. Amar, does he get out? Yeah. Because again, nobody's dying.
Woo! What a team fight! Let's go, baby! Woo-hoo!
Nobody's dying. Why? What are we playing Dota for?
We're playing it for the fact that this game's never going to end. If either team can't kill each other, we're stuck here for life, guys. All right. Yeah, I mean, so Ooredoo, I'm sure if when eventually the fight recap might pop up in a minute, and the healing done, the sustain from Ooredoo.
There's no fight recap.
Wait,
nobody
no one died. Oh no! Oh what? Oh, of course. That's actually kind of sad. I just realized.
Total healing so far for the Witch Doctor.
Does that count as a bug?
13,500. Yeah, it should be a bug.
That's a bug. Surely there was enough damage done to mitigate or to prove it was a fight, right?
Robs is losing it.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
Harry.
At least we're seeing some healing stats pop up on screen, but yeah, realistically for Ooredoo, I think the reason why that fight, Kara's gonna die here, but it's fine.
Maybe.
I lied to you.
He gets the tombstone down. They take the Aegis. I think that counts as a real death. And finally, Kara's gonna be brought down. Witch Doctor ulti's still going. Amar just gonna roll on by and roll on out. Doesn't want to get caught here in a weird position. 11-3, 3K gold lead.
Yeah, Ooredoo cannot walk up into this jungle. It's just lit up with Nigma vision right now. That's a really good fight recap. That's not the... Oh, God. Dota, what a game. But no, I think for Ooredoo, at least in that previous fight, it was all about their patience with their BKBs, their positioning, right? It's like when Nigma initiates, Silencer's really holding off his global, but you know what? Let's go for another pickoff. Kuroki's got really nice positioning here, though.
It feels like, yeah, they're going to see it now, and now they know that he's over there in the woods. But TA2000 spams out the wave, and we're again resetting. With Aegis down now, I mean, I guess that Sumail's just chill until he gets Scotty. And I think Ooredoo are pretty comfortable, at least until Pipe. I don't know. As this game gets later and later, do you still think it has that same strength coming from the Drow Storm Spirit, like to deal with what the side of Nigma has?
Yeah, I think it should be able to scale quite nicely. It's more on TA2000's positioning, right? I think at all points of the game, Drow's going to be able to, with the Frost Arrows, with her Shard, be a threat to this Drow. It's more, can Sumo, when he enters the fight, is he entering it with conviction, like, this is the perfect jump, I'm going to kill off the Drow, or I'm going to kill off the IO to prevent that sustain. So for Nigma, I feel like as the game goes later, even though their items feel really good, they can always like throw a fight because they don't have that clean lockdown initiator. It's all on pretty much Amar on this Pangolier to roll around, get all the vision to know how to jump correctly. But on the flip side, Ooredoo, it's because they're so survivable, items will just make it even harder for Nigma to kill them off.
Well, they're going to walk straight up a hill with no vision. That's usually not that great, but this time it looks like it's going to result in Kuro going down dead. Mar rolls through yet again. We'll just go for the TP out after. No way to break that one, obviously, yet. And he gets away from harm.
Yeah, now we talk about this healing. Morphling went for Skadi, and now Pangolier's actually going for the Sheevens.
Glimpse, Snoop just going to pop the BKB, ready to fight. On to MC, and look at it, a Static Storm dropped down.
Dead.
It is not going to matter. They don't find a way to keep him alive. And just like that, they lose a couple.
I mean, Ooredoo are just playing this map with so much confidence, right? They're smoking up into the high ground, Drow's forcing in, and then it's on the flip side. It's okay, we got a kill, so let's just run back across the map and get another one. Sure, it's on 2 supports, but the fact that they are playing into Global, into Rolling Thunder, it's like, whatever. Like, if we fight them, we have these BKBs, we have these ways to posture. But this double anti-healing timing will be coming out from Nigma. It would have been too slow if it was all on Amar. I think that's probably what the communication was after a couple of these fights, where Ooredoo is just surviving. Sumail's like, guys, I have to go Skadi. I'm kind of close. Amar, please buy the Shivas, as they look at his quick buy, which whatever this mix-up is.
I mean, this feels like it's going to be really good from them, to be honest. I like it a lot. And I think the other big question mark is going to be, you know, with these Boots of Bearing that's coming out from the Disruptor, are they going to be able to kind of match that timing that Ooredoo has here? Because they did get the pipe completed on the Witch Doctor. They have pipe and Greaves on Snapfire too. And it feels like it's much more about how these fights start than anything else.
Yeah, 100%. I think, especially for Nigma, if the fight starts on their terms, it's going to be the Silencer waiting to hold the perfect global.
They're walking into vision, though.
Yeah, they should be able to
jump in from downtown. They try and find him right away and going to catch onto that Silencer. It's a big kill to get if they can get him.
The cookie. No.
Stun is there. The Witch Doctor bounce back and forth, but enough heal coming out that they get that global off. But down on the low ground, TA2000 trying to kill off Amar, doing a good chunk of damage. But Kuro, he TPs back in and gets right on top of the Drow. So cutting off some of that agi with the Io and Witch Doctor gone. These heroes do not have the sustain, and TA2000 in a ton of trouble. They buy back on Io, want to come in to save TA2000. The heal is there, and now the turn, they take down Sumail. They're going to blow them all up, and well, one after the other, Nigma starting to fall. Mar's going to have to cancel that tether to get the Drow not taken back home. A huge win for OT. And well, vote from Amar? Amar? That was not how that was supposed to go, and a lot of tips on the TA2000.
There's some really good tips, by the way. They're like some S-tier tips right there. Sure. So for Nigma, at least, that fight starts. They get Skadi and Shivas. They're really punishing Io Witch Doctor. It looks like the fight should be theirs, but then just one buyback, keeping that Drow alive. And this is how Drow plays every single game right now in the meta. It's normally she gets jumped. How well can she disengage? How well can her team utilize 4-staffs, get her away from the main threat, to then let her turn around and gust, multi-shot back into the engagement? And when you have this Io buyback relocate, it just makes that feel even better. So yeah, just really nice from Ooredoo, kind of playing in the correct position, having their wards, and knowing how to get the Drow into the best spot to turn it around. And this is what I was mentioning with Sumail. Even though he's farming, he has to be scared, like afraid of, if he jumps in incorrectly, he will always be under threat of Drow.
And now you've got this next thing coming up too, which is going to be this DD rune online. I liked the idea that Kuro had to like just try and TP in and stay on top of TA2000, but a ton of mobility at this point. And also has that Titan Sliver. Roche back up in 2 minutes here. OT, are they going to keep trying to play aggressive around the map? And for Nigma, I mean, what's sort of the next thing look like? Because that was their item timing, and with buybacks, with relocates, it didn't look great.
But you literally were asking about the idea of starting the fight, right? And for Nigma, that was an example of Ooredoo dictating the fight, right? It was, sure, it looks good because Nigma's able to quickly use their spells defensively and then get numbers advantage to try and chase the fight. But on the flip side, if they were the ones smoking, if they were the ones getting the pick off, this would not have happened.
Right, and also they walked in underneath a ward, and it was like a very aggressive, that ward's going to get dewarded. It's on like instantly gone afterwards, but it literally won them the fight. And now it's going to be Nigma smoking in, and again, looking like they're going to end up in an area where there's already vision down for Ooredoo Thunder. Well, they're going to play around this vision instead. They see Kaori walking into the pit there. Glimpse, pulls him back. Not going to go for the all-in. So now everybody knows where everybody's at.
Enigma, again, they don't have that quick blink stun style hero, so it really is, okay, you poke them a little bit. If they have the vision, then they capitalize on. So you see Enigma very much respecting this high ground vision. They themselves are hugging their own ward. But I don't think either team, I mean, for Ooredoo, they're smoking up now. They can break and do this. But it's all about, can they get to this hill and de-ward it instantly? It's a big fight.
I mean, they saw that something was farming that medium camp, and TA2000, he's DD'd, he's walking right on in. Sumail spots him, but they already dropped down. The Static Storm has to waveform out. no way for this fight to end well for them, at least starting on those terms. GH tries to back away, is going to get the glimpse. Noob out of mana. Kaori, it is going to be enough to bring down GH, and MC, he's caught too, but will manage to TP away. So another fight with the DD on Drow just ending kind of poorly.
Yeah, Nigma, they can't deal with it when already jumped them. Like, even though they have this global, unfortunately for Kuroki, 2 fights in a row, he's kind of been jumped at the start, so not really utilizing that as a good defensive tool right now. And Roshan's up in 2 seconds. They should be able to scout it out. Oh, that's pretty awkward.
Oh, that one hurts.
That's so awkward. What? No!
Oh, that's really frustrating for them. Okay, so that at least gives Nigma the chance to fight it out for Roshan.
Very honorable of them, for sure. But they were literally on the doorstep. They were just... Oh.
I think they can still, like, if they went back in and scouted it, I feel like they could still do it, because Nigma's very spread out across the map. And Kyrie, he's going to walk back in a bit, see that it's up, and we'll see if they decide to go for it or not. But this does buy enough time where Nigma are now realizing that Roche is probably going to be going down.
They have global available. Static Storm up in 10. I'd be very surprised if Nigma wasn't able to at least walk over here, but it is going down so quickly. With Tombstone to tank, Drought to click.
Very low. Thinking about running in. They're all around the area, but it's too late. They come in a little bit too late there.
I honestly thought for Ooredoo that TP out would have given like an extra 10 seconds for Nigma to get there, right? But luckily for Ooredoo at least, it was, wait a second, let's just walk back over just to double check.
Well, they did realize that there was vision in the area there too. So get the D ward on that spot. Ooredoo Thunder still looking very good. And we're just going back for the heart next on the Witch Doctor, because why not? We'll upgrade from a fluffy hat to a heart.
Man, he's playing the most chill game possible, right? He's an off-lane player. He's like 0-3-7. I had to think which one I wanted to start with, just in case I want to say 0. Yeah, he's just got some greaves, some pipe. He's just living the dream. This is the fun thing. Like, there is no way you can play off-lane Witch Doctor in your pubs, right? This is clearly something they had to try and... Do you think Wouter, ranked 60 off-lane player, has gone, you know what, I want to win 30 MMR, I'm picking off-lane Witch Doctor.
Hell yeah.
And hoping my POS4 wants to play IO.
Yeah, that's the dream right there. You got to believe in your teammates.
That's fair. I mean, that's true.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's not happening.
I mean, it's a scrim hero, but yeah.
That's fair. And he actually, on Undying, is queuing up the Lotus Orb next, too. 35 minutes in, and just sitting behind TA2000. I think they're ready to keep this momentum going. There is a TP going back towards the top side of the map, and the global comes out. They got him caught. He's dead. Noob was not anticipating a ward up on the high ground, the whole rest of the team on that side. What a pick.
I need to check the death summary there. Yeah, it was just a global cookie. I was like, I'm trying to check, like at least double check what exactly caught him off guard, but no, it was the vision, zip, boom. Instant global stun. He just dies off. So, yeah, nice positioning there from Nigma, but that's Noob's mentality this entire game, right? Or at least how he plays as a pro. It's always, if he has some farm, if he sees an opportunity, he's going to just try and force out that spell. But this time, Nigma very much in position to punish him.
Ooh, and Sumail picking up that big item now, has the gold for it. It's going to be the Agnum Scepter flying out. Now, this means no buyback, but the amount of Agi you're going to be stealing from TA2000 is pretty insane. And they're trying to slow down the push mid with even the kinetic field, while simultaneously they're dropping the other lanes. They're losing this Rax battle. They have already lost the tier 3 down bottom, and GH, just on his solo, is trying to keep alive their tier 3s. Okay, one TP comes back. They've got a glimpse ready still. Amar is there. He does get silenced, though. Ooh, and there's going to be staying alive. But that's a full lane of racks that they lose.
What an outplay from Nigma. Like, Storm pick off into solo defense from Disruptor, utilizing glyphs just a little bit better on the side of Nigma as well. And yeah, they get a Rax for free.
I mean, look at this. This is a 6,000 gold lead. This is an Aegis in hand. This is everybody on Ooredoo Thunder being topped off. And they're the ones that are losing the Rax. And creeps are still in their base.
Just a really disciplined call from Nigma. Again, like in some scenarios there, teams feel a little bit under threat, but no, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. For TA2000, he does have Lincoln's soon complete, so this big ag timing that you're talking about will be at least cushioned by the fact that TA2000 will be able to potentially prevent it from hitting straight off the bat. Actually complete as we speak.
Okay, so that's going to be a big one, and that's going to be the reveal. So Nigma going to have to be very wary about how they play this and making sure that they get full value. But the Hex is there. They find the Disruptor for Staff. Cookie keeping him alive, and GH gets the Ghost Scepter off. Now they see that the Lincoln's is there. It's going to be broken right away. Now, that wasn't the Morph. So he still has Morph available. And you can see they take down the Tombstone. They hold their high ground. Nigma making it work for themselves.
Yeah, I think Ooredoo are kind of losing a little bit of threat with their Stone Spirit now. Every time he jumps in, there's Forces, Glimmer, Capes, Ghost Scepters. It isn't this, oh wow, look at Storm, he's always killing X hero at the start of the fight. And especially when you get Nigma into the base, it's even harder.
Sumail. They're right on him. The Hex is there. Where's the save? They got it for a moment. Pulls him back in. The cookie. And the Disrupt won't be down, but he's gone. And no buyback. Amar's going to fall. They're going to take the entire base. Amar and Sumail gone with no buyback. All they need is creeps. There's creeps hitting their tier 4 towers, for goodness sake. But what a freaking win that one was.
I just didn't expect Nigma to walk out their base, honestly. I thought they were like, you know what, that's great. They just survived a little bit of Storm Jump, but no, they give the one opportunity for Ooredoo to pick off both big cores. They're dead, no buyback. Again, bottom tier 2's alive, so they shouldn't get mega creeps, but I mean, Ooredoo can go for top, a little bit of mid, maybe a little cheeky bit of, you know, tier 4 poke if they really wanted to.
I mean, that's so much. You lose
GA
those 2 cores.
Yeah,
they're saying they're not buying back for this. They might not have buyback at all. Now, no Aegis is available, but with 30 seconds until Morph is back up, how much damage can OT do? They don't have any damage out of these 3 other heroes. Win conditions at various points in times for Nigma have been Amar and Sumail, and they're both dead.
Okay, to be fair, Ooredoo can't end the game. The Ancient is way too strong that at worst, they're going to hit this tier 4, and they should be able to disengage.
All right, we'll see.
Or they're going to run away. They should run away. There we go.
All right, they
Too
don't
many
want
times.
to tempt it.
There we go.
I mean, that's still 2 lanes of Rax. That's huge.
But they have to be careful. Like, walking into low ground in an area Ooredoo is like parked up for the last 10 minutes with no detection against... That was bold from Nigma. Like, they made some incredible bot lane Rax trade play into then the most relaxed...
Right.
Very, very 50-50 right now with Nigma, and not the EE 50-50s like we see on Reddit.
You know what that is? That's like somebody doing some like crazy parkour trick and like doing a backflip gainer into something, and then they just like trip over their feet and fall on the face. You know what I mean? It's like they did the coolest thing ever, and then just the simple thing caught them off.
It's the bane of every Dota player.
True enough. A couple bounty runes are going to be over there to the side for the side of Nigma, and for Ooredoo Thunder, one last lane for them to go after. They can also just hold on to this side of the map if they want. And there's still, nobody has gone back to deal with the creeps in the base. The tier 4 tower is going to go down. Like, they're like, look, we lost our racks, we're done. We're not playing bottom anymore.
They're so stubborn, aren't they? Like, this didn't happen. They're living in a whole different dimension where they still have their bot racks.
Listen, they need to finish the game quick, because otherwise the creeps are going to kill the Ancient.
All right, Nigma with the 6th man in the roster. It's been a couple years since we've had one of them.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, but in fairness, Ooredoo, they are playing topside because Roshan might respawn in a minute.
Yeah.
They want to be in position to take that. They take Aegis, then they can relocate, not with IO, but literally their 5 heroes to the bot side.
With IO too.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Double whammy. But they want to go Aegis into bot side, take tier 2, threaten for the mega creeps. And finally, after so many minutes, they are able to push out this lane.
GH might see some spirits flying around over there, but the relocate is going to end. He was maybe thinking about a glimpse there. But not going to be able to connect onto it. But yeah, they're just going to keep this lane pushed out, and that's something else to watch for. If Sumail ever buys some of these boots of travel, could be some game-winning plays down there. But movement across the map, they're heading into the area where Sumail is at. Sumail pops the Manta already, and maybe sensing that there could be some danger heading around his way, is going to back out.
Yeah, and a big trade-off as well with GH gameplay. Right, he went for Ghost Scepter, Boots of Bearing. He's not going to have this Aghanims at a reasonable amount of time. Normally you get Aghs around maybe minute 40, 50 in these games where you're playing more aggressive, but we're not going to see that effect where it's like, we caught the drow, she didn't get BKB off. So Nigma really have to lean on each other to force out these defensive tools.
I think this is the 3rd game that I've seen GH play Disruptor and go Boots of Bearing. It seems like he really values that item quite heavily. And maybe it again speaks to like the way that this team functions in general, where it's him and MC picking up these like support-oriented items. MC is also thinking about trying to go for some scaling himself, almost at that level 20 for the Little Shard to use attack damage, and has the Chrysalis built up. But Aghanim Scepter in the Roche pit.
The perfect respawn. Roshan's up, Nigma smoking. Vision though, Ooredoo have 4 wards around here, but the bot lane is still hitting.
They think that somebody's going to have to come back to deal with this. Ooredoo Thunder, they're in the pit now. Amar starts to go in, and it's a haste run for TA2000. Are they just going to go in for an all-in play? I mean, this is going to be Roche down. It doesn't look like they're trying to fight it.
Yo, Nigma's kind of pinging the base right now. They're also awkwardly waddling in a little conga line towards the bottom.
Yo. Are they going to try this? I mean, all right, here's the thing. They have Glimpse available.
But they have Glyph available on Ooredoo.
They do have Glyph available, but Glimpse is there. And Amar walks in, gusted immediately, has BKB. Halberd is there too, and well, now he's been left behind by his team. Gonna think about the roll-up play, tries to get away. So they force back all of Ooredoo Thunder and aren't gonna really be able to get much for it because they're also, their Ancient is exposed and starting to take some damage from creeps.
I can conclude, Lyrical, that achieved nothing.
Yeah, no, it looks cool though.
For a moment, it did look cool. But I feel like for Nigma, that play can work if they're, let's say, 10-15 seconds earlier, where it's like they're hitting the tier 4, forcing a glyph. Roshan just is started to get hit, and then you cause that like two-way thought process for Ooredoo. It's like, do we finish Aegis? Do we protect our base? Are we glyphing? But because it was so late, it just allowed Ooredoo to simply reset, TP back, sweep into the bot side of the map, most likely take tier 2 and potentially this, you know, tier 3 for free. Nigma, they're going to have to defend this because if they lose the next fight, it's going to be GG.
Well, it's definitely going to be a tough one for them. And 21,000 gold lead. A refresher is done now on Noob with that Hex ready and the Aghanim's Blessing brought together. So, I mean, this just feels like it's such a difficult fight. I don't know how they really try and take this one super effectively. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but
Tombstone for high ground for some vision.
got to find a way to hold here.
TA2000, just throw the Lotus on him, let him click away.
A very, very bizarre game so far, starting with 5-on-5 fights with nobody dying, turning into, you know, buildings dropping quickly while teams are spread out across the other side of the map. And now it's just the slow, steady push that we knew could come out from this roster. The pullback onto 2. Do they have a second round of it now? They do manage to connect onto both of them. Hex there. The silence is onto Drow. Amar buying some time because it's solo Storm on Noob trying to find kills, and he's not getting it. Kuro still backing away. They thought about that jump with the stun, but wasn't able to quite connect it. Now Sumail is turning to TA2000. TA2000 not hitting very hard with almost no agi, but
no
another
damage.
pull, he zips into it. Sumail caught, but the turn now onto Stormy dead. The Witch Doctor ulti doing some damage, but Sumail is so strong right now on this Morphling, manages to kill him off once. Can they do it again? Omar wanted to go in for the save and tries to make a play, and it is going to be enough. Good play by the IO to get Drow out, but it cost, well, soon to be for their lives.
I mean, Ooredoo kind of got baited by how survivable they were. The fact that that engagement, I'm not sure he dies on the relocate back, but yeah, Ooredoo, they were like, you know what, we're not dying, we're doing great. Noob's controlling up 2 heroes for nearly like 8+ seconds on the top side of the fight, but yeah, for Ooredoo, I would argue they just need to think about buildings in that play. Don't go for these chasing moments, don't try and do anything crazy, just stand, A-click, protect Drow, try and, you know, actually get the mega creeps. But instead, they give Nigma a little bit of breathing room.
Take a look at this replay here. Yeah, it was a moment where, like, obviously Noob felt like he could go in, catch onto these two, but Omar just absolutely disrupting this fight. And, you know, for Drow, obviously, what was going on was she was trying to put her BKB into her, like, regular inventory. Finally had it in, but then at that point, it wasn't really a great go again.
Again, you see from TA2000, at the start of the fight, it was like he throws out a multi-shot, and then it's like awkward, he walks around for a little bit, then he comes back in, hits some buildings, now he's at this point of the fight, so unfortunately, a little bit of indecision from Ooredoo and how they wanted to approach his high ground. Noob, again, happily controlling up a lot of heroes, but
back in the real world, that is going to be Silencer having to force Staff away, and yeah, you can see on his face there, a little bit of concern about what was going on. Don't tug too hard, buddy, you're gonna lose your hair like me. As 47 minutes in, 11K gold lead is what you're down to now. And thinking about that next round of Roche soon.
God, do you think it's going to be a base race type game, or is it going to be like a clean, like, we've had, what is it, you know, 23 kills in 46 minutes? That is depressingly low.
Esportsbet.io is still very much in the favor of Ooredoo Thunder, but I think that there's something to be said for what you're talking about, this Morphling just backdooring, you know? And particularly now that the Tier 2 tower is taken down mid, it gives him a really good window here with, you know, waveform attacks targets, stealing all that agi. Could be dangerous.
Let me double check. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So, Ooredoo have a little bit more HP on their tier 4 than Nigma's. Again, Nigma the one that haven't really been hitting buildings for that long.
Yeah.
But we very much like a mirrored situation here. If either team really wanted to go for it, who actually does it quicker? I'm pretty sure Nigma does it quicker. They actually have Boots of Bearing, some Snapfire right clicker, some Sumo. Yeah, you know what? Nigma would win a base race, I think. But then Overcharged Drought, ooh, there's so many little factors here.
I mean, the other thing to consider too is going to be that element of glimpse. You know, when like keeping track of these BKB timings, if somebody tries to come back and defend and sort of Disruptor is there, that feels like it's a really good hero to sort of mess up those things. And you can see for Nigma, they're sending in through top, and they're probably just going to get this set of racks again. Nobody is home to deal with this, and Sumail hits so hard. I think this is at the very... Well, they're TPing back now. Starting to, at the very least.
And more importantly, Glyph has been forced.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, and it's going to be quite a large window now, nearly up to 4.5 minutes now, that Nigma. Anything in the base, if Ooredoo are out of position, Sumo, like you mentioned, will happily do the damage to convert.
Sumail a little bit low on mana. And we'll send in those Manta Illusions, trying to take him down. While bottom lane, Noob ready to jump on anybody that happens to show here. Still has that refresher ready to go. Was not that great for them in the last fight. Again, just because of how well Amar was able to zone out the rest of them. But both teams very much afraid of stepping one step forward, because both teams recognize, like, if you lose a big fight right now, game's over.
Ooh, I mean, if Noobs have to keep this bot lane pushed in, there'll also be scenarios where Nigma commits into top side. I can relocate the Drought in as well. So there's multiple ways where this game could get quite spicy towards the end. But I think Nigma did a really good job posturing on the top side of the map, once again waiting for that next Aegis, skipping the waves out and preventing Ooredoo from getting themselves into a position where it's like, okay, we're knocking on your bot lane once again, come and defend.
Ooh, Amar. TA2000 there, just throwing out the gust, just in case it was the real one. He has that gem, and continually shoving out this top lane too.
This entire game has become awkward because of that one split decision. You know,
right.
when Nigma took bot racks?
Yeah.
This bot racks is keeping the bot lane away from, you know, Nigma's side, preventing Ooredoo from punishing mega creeps.
Well, this is the smoke out now. Ooredoo, they've held their position for a very long time. Nigma, do they realize what's happening?
They're going for the big wraparound. They have a ward available, actually, to
Vision
place.
down. They're taking the outpost. GH realizes this as it is taken over. Now hiding behind the pillar. Very awkward position, but Amar, he rolls in, finds one, Static Storm down. Noob pops that BKB, Global out after the BKB. Disarm onto TA2000 while her BKB was going. They've used a lot of resources. Can they go for any more? Noob jumps in, goes pretty far. Waiter also nearby. GH is kind of in no man's land, and well, we'll pop that Ghost Scepter, tries to get away, TP out. Don't think that one's gonna work. No, he does. No pull.
I mean, Noob had Refresher available. If he wanted to commit for the kill, he could have.
Well, that was right as Roche was about to respawn, or capable of it. We still have 2.5 minutes.
Oh, look at bot lane. Do you think Ooredoo's going to look here? They have failed to look at bot lane before.
I think they're going to.
They have a poor track record at looking at bot lane.
That's a huge wave.
That's a big wave.
And actually, Nigma smoking in as that's going on. They know that somebody has to come and deal with this. If they could find the fight 4v5, that would be a really good window for them. And Noob shows.
He has bots, though. They have outposts as well.
2000, keeping their eyes on him. They break it already. That's Lincoln's use. Sumail, waveform in. Amar tries to find him. TA2000, they reveal with the gem. Noob wants to get in here to try and get towards the fight. He actually TPs onto the creep wave. They've already killed off Kaori, but the pullback onto 2. Good damage out. Second salvo. Do they have enough damage to kill him off in time? GH Ghost Scepter gets the turnaround onto the Witch Doctor. Sumail, he's in some trouble. Broken. Waveforms in onto TA2000, trying to get him. He switched into the Morph, doing so much damage out there. Sumail trying to stay alive, but the pullback the second round. Noob is keeping him there. Omar was there for the turn with the heal. And at the end of it all, is looking like Ooredoo are coming out on top. But look at the base. The tier 4 towers are getting hit back at home. Also inside of the Ooredoo Thunder base, they are starting to lose some as well. The Ancient's going to be exposed. The buyback is there from Sumail. Things getting very weird.
All right, so somehow after all of that, it's actually Nigma who progressed the base a little bit better.
Yeah.
They take tier 4s first.
They lose the fight, but there's some weird things going on. Again, I guess, though, the problem is, like, they have to have a creep wave in through bottom because they're not probably going to be able to get one in towards mid. Yeah,
and for Ooredoo, again, that previous fight, it's all about just prolonging the engagement, making sure they survive through the global, and don't allow Morphling to get on top of Drow, prevent marksmanship, and get the A-click war going. Yeah. I think Ooredoo did a really nice job just continuously kiting back, click, kite back, click, and Nigma, unfortunately, it was very chaotic, very split fight, and that's not what their draft needs. Sure, you can have Pangolier create some chaos, but you need to have at least some synergies on other people to, kill off these very tanky heroes.
Well, one of the big things to take away, too, is this very long Roche respawn timer. I feel like this is favoring Nigma so heavily right now. It's going to mean that Sumail can finish off this Daedalus. And actually, before Roche respawns, they're trying to head onto the map. Now, this is a huge window with this ward. If they see these heroes and find him, GH realizes, yeah, this is going to be the death of him unless he gets out of there. Do they have a way to break it? Oh, man.
Look at the coconut go.
Very, very close. And yeah, the coconut's going to connect. Sumail is on bottom, but this is the big Roche that's coming their way.
And Fortify is back up. So both teams have Glyph, have Fortification, very much ready for any of these weird rat shenanigans that could happen. If we were to get this Aegis and look to walk up aggressively, I do see a scenario where Nigma equally try and mirror that. And there's a lot of chaotic defensive spells that they can throw out to hopefully win a base race. And as all this comes through, I'd be surprised if Nigma can actually win a full 5-on-5 fight with the Aegis, the cheese, another Ags.
But their Ancient is exposed, and the creeps are in the base right now. If, they can make that move happen.
I mean, GH is drawing the line already on the minimap. He said, guys, posture yourself ready for bottom. If Ooredoo step up.
Yeah.
There was only one line I saw on the minimap, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what GH said.
Yeah, GH is dealing with the creep waves. Sumail picks up an illusion rune. Waveform on in.
But Ooredoo just need to go bottom, grab this wave, walk it down the lane, and then there will be none of these base race shenanigans. That's what they're doing here. But
there is a ward. Nigma see them over on this high ground area right now.
I feel like everyone's just drawing on the minimap right now. This bot lane is just hot topic.
It really is.
Okay, there we go. I was like, if Ooredoo just don't push out this lane, it's like you're just providing the content.
Yeah. Throwing for content. We've heard that.
Whoa, they're not throwing. They're providing. They haven't lost yet.
I mean, 25,000 gold lead. At this point, who was it that picked up the Ags anyways on the side of Ooredoo? TA2000. Okay, so yeah, she's hitting pretty freaking hard. And has that little split hit as well on the arrows.
And the last time Ooredoo came to this position, they weren't able to take the melee racks. They lost the Aegis, and Nigma swept into the map. Since then, they've accrued a bigger lead, some knowledge, and maybe this time they can get the mega creeps.
Interestingly enough, right now, Drow does not have the Scotty in her inventory. So there is nothing right now that breaks the attribute shift.
And Disrupted just pick up Axe. And he's hidden right now. No one's seen him.
Hiding away, needs to be careful. That Disruptor Axe could be huge if they manage to find it. Needs to stay out of vision, so there's no chance for anybody to click on him. Up at the top, the Shiva's guard is out, trying to create some disruption, and Noob right on top of it, he's in trouble! Sumail starting to beat away at him, and they jump in with Witch Doctor to try and save. He also is in trouble.
A massive static storm.
That was exactly what they needed, but now they need a little bit more. Noob jumps in. That's after the buyback. MC backing away too. They're able to get the pullback onto both of them. But Amar, and keeping him away, MC is already dead, but Sumail waveforms out. Now this is going to be mega creeps if they can finish this one off, but they managed to find a bash. The stun is there, the gust, and now the Mortimer's Kiss is coming down onto TA2000. She is stuck, starting to drop lower and lower. This is only going to be life 1 if they can get it.
Another kinetic field.
Looks like they're close to getting Amar right on top of TA. Finds it there with the cookie stun. The melee rack still lives. All of this heal is there, but it's not enough. She goes down once. Can they kill her again? TA2000 turned upon now. Omar there, keeping her survivable. Another round of swashbuckle forward. The Witch Doctor's completely out of mana. the battery of heal only lasts as long as your energy goes, and they take down the Drow. Unreal. Omar.
They found Omar as well.
They find him. The roll is backing out. Nigma somehow, someway managed to hold on here.
All comes down to that Static Storm reveal, in my opinion. The fact that they punished, Noob at the start of the fight.
He wants to go for the all-in play. Needs to be careful.
That's bold, boss.
Yeah.
You're a setup hero. You don't have that kill threat. Noob's, he's gigging. He's like, yeah, I just got the double vortex and peace, I'm out again. Noob's job right now is just to skip the waves, and mid-tier 4 goes down for Nigma as well. Somehow the teams that win the fights lose the base. It's very confusing stuff happening in this game, but both Ancients are now exposed. And yeah, Nigma, down by 25k gold, able to keep themselves in the game once again.
Now it's down to just 15. And buyback status is the other thing to keep our eyes on right now. So they don't have it on Morph, MC, or the Pango, while the Storm Spirit and the Undyne also don't have buyback.
GH again in that previous fight did incredible work. Like these kinetic fields, just constantly keeping Drow in base. Like she didn't have a BKB. There was no way for Ooredoo to get her out of the kinetic, and it's now just, okay, I'll just perma use it on top of you. Yeah, it's incredible stuff from GH.
Well, they're ready to go again, and they need to make something big happen here. Now, Storm, Noob, he is farming up the Ancients. They have an idea that he's over on this side. If he shows on this wave, which he is right now, can they catch him? GH runs in, Static Storm's down! He doesn't have buyback! Aeon Disc to try and stay alive, but he is in trouble. And that is going to be Noob dying. No buyback for 2 minutes.
He just didn't respect the Static. GH just has Noob's number, honestly. Incredible stuff. These are the players that you need to get back into this game. They are clawing themselves back in, kill by kill.
We were hoping for a big series, and with no Storm, can they do it? There's vision down to scout these heroes before they get into the base. But I think right now, if you're Nigma, you have to at least be thinking about going for the all-in play. With the Ancient exposed, no Storm Spirit, it's down to Drow. Can she do it with these other supports? 3 support heroes, basically.
Witcher to IO, they have to throw some bodies in. They're the one with buyback. They just have to buy as much time as possible. Hope for an overextension.
Drow, no buyback there. Like you said, Sumail steps forward. TA2000, the waveform in, able to get the Voodoo switcheroo for the moment. Ancient starting to fall, 70 seconds without the Storm. Amar, they go back in. Kaori, he's in trouble, going to die. Double tombstones down. Amar bouncing back and forth in the fountain, while the rest of the team trying to take this down. Drow does have a rapier, but do they have the ability to do the damage that they need? Amar very much in the fountain, still trying to do what damage they can, but Sumail eyes on the prize, and the disarm is there. They don't have a way to stop it.
It's over.
The smile from Sumail as they get the win. Just under.